Dear journalists, dear guests, welcome to the press conference. We are very delighted to welcome the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kosovo here in Tallinn, in Estonia. The Prime Minister Kaja Kallas and Prime Minister Albin Kurti have just concluded their bilateral meeting and will deliver short remarks. After that, it is possible for media to ask questions. The press conference is held in English with simultaneous translation into Estonian. First, Prime Minister Kallas, please.
Thank you, dear Albin and dear journalists. I'm very happy to welcome you in Tallinn. Relations between Estonia and Kosovo have been very good, and I'm glad that they're getting even more close than they have. I'm glad that we were able to discuss Estonia's reform process, especially in the field of digital governance. And I know that you're also visiting the e-governance center, so we can also be help there. Building democracy never ends. Over here, we take care of it every single day. A great practical example of our cooperation is that currently Estonian experts, in cooperation with your help, are creating the Kosovo's e-governance strategy. What is key next is to put it in practice. The security situation in Europe has been a reminder of the importance of EU-Western Balkans relations. I would like to thank Kosovo for your steadfast support to Ukraine. You have set an important example by quickly and fully following the EU sanctions. This means a lot to us. You have given Ukraine humanitarian aid and supported Ukrainian refugees. Your principled position is widely appreciated and recognized. I would also like to emphasize Estonia's full support to Kosovo's Euro-Atlantic path. Let me reaffirm our support to your visa liberalization in the EU. Russian aggression affects us all. Its consequences go well beyond Ukraine. We also discussed Russia's destabilizing influence in your neighborhood. I'm glad that we will meet soon in the EU Western Balkans Summit in Tirana. Now, with this summit, we will send a strong message of support. The EU is a close friend of the Western Balkans, and Western Balkans can rely on this. It is in our mutual interest to end Russia's aggression once and for all. We know that the aggressor will never stop unless it's stopped. The longer it takes, the harder it gets. For this, we need to keep supporting Ukraine by giving more military support, more humanitarian aid, and more financial support. This is the way towards peace. And war criminals must be held accountable. The free world must make sure that Russia's crime of aggression, crimes against humanity, and possible genocide will face justice. And Russia has an obligation to make full reparation for the injury and damages caused. The Kremlin must pay for every building destroyed, every bridge ruined, and every energy facility shelled. Thank you.
Thank you. Prime Minister Kurti, please.
Dear Prime Minister Kallas, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Prime Minister Kallas, for your invitation and your warm welcome in this first visit of me and our delegation as Prime Minister and the new government of the Republic of Kosovo. The Republic of Estonia is a friend and a strategic partner for Republic of Kosovo. We share common values of freedom, democracy, and equal opportunity for all. With the Prime Minister, we have discussed important topics for our two countries, but also for our continent. We spoke about the war in Europe, that is Russia's unprovoked and unjustified invasion and military aggression in Ukraine, and its global implications, with a particular focus on Estonia as well as Kosovo. The Republic of Kosovo has strongly condemned the invasion since day one, and we stand in solidarity with the people and the state of Ukraine by imposing sanctions in line with the European Union and the United States of America. Allow me to express again our appreciation for Estonia's continuous support throughout our state-building phases, especially in the advancement of Kosovo towards EU integration. The government of Kosovo appreciates the support of the Republic of Estonia for visa liberalization and also the support for Kosovo's membership in international organizations. We consider integration into the EU and NATO as a natural process that is based on strategic orientation of Kosovo. We intend to start the process of applying for the status of candidate country, and Estonia's support in this regard will be highly appreciated. Our two countries, Kosovo and Estonia, have excellent bilateral relations, as well as similar historical past. Hence, the Republic of Kosovo takes seriously the Estonian model in many aspects of the state building, particularly in relation to institutional capacities in the public administration reform. We have to have a strong and democratic state. We have a lot to learn from the Estonian success story in digital government. And we are very happy that we have already established cooperation with the Estonian e-Governance Academy. EGA is helping us with the development of our e-government strategy, which will serve as a roadmap for digital transformation in our government. I spoke with Prime Minister Kallas about Kosovo's progress in a year and a half that we are governing, and the results that we have achieved in the development of our economy, but also the improvement in all indicators of democracy. We have shown that democracy and economy go hand in hand, because there are some autocratic powers and superpowers who want to show that development doesn't need democracy, but actually it does. Of course, essential to democracy is the closely related principle of rule of law. In the past year, we have improved by 17 places in Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, and another 17 places in Reporters Without Borders World Press Freedom Index. And we are number one in the region, in the Balkans region, regarding rule of law according to the World Justice Project. We have made great efforts to strengthen the rule of law, and we have succeeded in fighting smuggling, crime, and corruption. We have also started reforms in the administration and the justice sector, and recently opened the commercial court to resolve disputes between businesses in record time. Our progress on democratization has been equally matched by our economic advancement. All of this helped to create a better environment for doing business in Kosovo, and I look forward to increase our economic cooperation and trade exchange. Economic potential, educated human capital, a young and talented population, a favorable business climate, and advantageous geostrategic position make Kosovo a very attractive country for foreign direct investments. And our democratic government makes Kosovo a factor of security and peace and stability in the region. We are strongly committed to good neighborly relations, and Kosovo has proven itself to be a reliable partner and a faithful ally to all democratic states. Thank you again, Prime Minister Kallas, and I'm very happy to welcome you to Pristina.
Thank you. Now it's possible for media to ask questions. Please do state your name, media outlet you're representing, and to whom the question is addressed to. Please use mic.
Arni Alandi, Estonian Public Broadcasting Company, and my question goes to Prime Minister of Kosovo. How satisfied are you with the decisions or with the work of Kosovo's specialist chamber and specialist prosecutor? Has it added stability and reconciliation to the Kosovo? And is it meaningful to establish this kind of institutions also for Ukraine in context of the war crimes what have done there?
Thank you for the question. In 4 wars in former Yugoslavia, approximately 150,000 non-Serbs were killed, Croats, Bosniaks, and Albanians. And unfortunately, in Serbia, not even 150 people ended up behind bars. So international community, European Union, democratic countries cannot rely on the courts of a single country. That's why international tribunals are necessary. Former Yugoslavia had a special international tribunal, ICTY, in Hague, which brought some results, but still a lot has to be done. Only in my country, in Kosovo, 10,000 unarmed civilians have been killed, 10% of them children. 20,000 women and girls have been raped. 120,000 houses have been destroyed, burned down, or damaged. 860,000 refugees had to flee because of genocide of Serbia. And we do not feel that justice has been done. We are going to strengthen our institutions in Kosovo, so we try in absentia war criminals. But again, we would need the help of international community, because everything points out that reconciliation and sustainable peace without justice cannot be done. And I believe that also there must be a tribunal, there must be an international tribunal for the victims of Russian aggression and invasion that started 9 months ago.
Yeah, one more question, the Prime Minister of Kosovo. Do you think that the tensions around the number plates of Serbia are now calmed down, or you fear that those tensions will continue?
My first Deputy Prime Minister is in regular and intensified communication with Brussels in order to resolve this issue. There are 9,000 cars with illegal Serbian car plates in Kosovo max. This is less than 10% of the cars that Serbs in Kosovo have. So it's an extremist minority within Serbian minority who are rejecting the denominations of our country. We have had a differentiation in approach and sequencing in implementation by starting only with reprimands, rebukes, warnings for 3 weeks, and then only fines. However, Belgrade ordered all Serbs who are in the institutions of Kosovo to abandon and resign collectively. Some of them have done so. I've made calls so they do not resign, because democratic institutions are not institutions of this government or this prime minister. Those are institutions for all, at their service, public services for all. We're doing our best to maintain lawfulness and constitutionality of our country in one hand, and peace and security on the other. I am optimistic, but the approach of Belgrade has been quite obstructive and destructive. In the next few days, we shall see how successful we will be in these newest negotiations. We need agreement with Serbia, final agreement, legally binding, for full normalization of relations, with mutual recognition as its centerpiece.
Thank you. This is unfortunately all the time we have. Thank you everyone for coming and following online.